Okay, let's unpack this. There's this like palpable sense of urgency, maybe even a little bit of panic swirling around AI right now. People are really worrying about their jobs. The pace of change just feels incredibly fast, sometimes maybe even scary fast.
It absolutely does feel that way, doesn't it? And the source material we're diving into today, this fascinating new post from June 13th, 2025, it really kicks off with that exact feeling. It starts by referencing a really high-profile entrepreneur, someone who's a powerhouse in the creator economy, totally at the top of her game. And she had what she describes as a cold sweat moment.
A cold sweat, wow.
Yeah, she realized that her own core work, the very thing that makes her successful, could be fundamentally transformed, maybe even significantly reduced or, made obsolete in just a couple of years because of AI advancement.
Man, if someone like that is feeling it, it definitely makes you pause and think about where you stand.
Yeah.
But the cool part about this specific source is that it doesn't just wallow in that fear, right?
Not at all. That's the immediate pivot. It frames this realization not as a reason to panic, but as, a really urgent call to action. It presents what it calls a practical, actionable blueprint. The idea is, instead of fearing AI, you can potentially thrive alongside it, maybe even earn significant money. The source explicitly mentions figures like $100 to $300 per hour being achievable by mastering specific AI-related skills right now.
Which, those are numbers that definitely grab your attention. And the post really backs up the sense of urgency and opportunity with some pretty stark statistics to drive the point home.
Yeah, the numbers are key context. While reports from places like the World Economic Forum might predict that, yes, something like 85 million jobs could be displaced by automation by 2030, the other side of that coin, according to the source and other data points it references, is that 78% of companies globally are already actively using AI in some capacity.
Okay, so almost 80% are already using it.
Right. And here's the statistic that really underscores the urgency this source talks about. 92% of companies plan to significantly increase their investment in AI by 2026. That's next year.
Okay, so 92% are planning to pour way more resources and money into AI solutions and integration very soon. That really hammers home the window to get ahead, to understand this landscape and position yourself differently is potentially much narrower than a lot of people might realize. It's not something you can kick down the road.
Exactly. The source emphasizes this point repeatedly, that the time to start building these skills and acting on this knowledge isn't some abstract point in the future. It's, frankly, right now.
So the mission for this deep dive, pulling the most important nuggets from this particular source, is to really zero in on the how. How can you navigate this rapid shift? How can you position yourself to not just weather the storm, but genuinely capitalize on this massive incoming wave? We're going to unpack the 7 specific high-value skills that this post identifies skills that people are actively using right now to not just survive, but actually thrive with AI.
And the really compelling angle here, as the source points out, is that the focus isn't on needing years of, deep technical computer science training. It's framed more around speed, agility, and a commitment to continuous learning. These are presented as skills you can potentially learn, practice, and start to monetize relatively quickly.
All right, consider us buckle up. Let's dive into these 7 skills that the source highlights, starting with the first one, which it labels, quite intriguingly, precision prompting. And it even tags it as potentially a $200 an hour communication skill. That's quite a claim.
It is, and the source makes a strong case for it. It starts by addressing a common frustration, what it calls the old way of thinking, which is like you try out an AI tool like ChatGPT, you ask it something, and the output is kind of generic or bland, and you think, okay, this AI kind of sucks.
Right, like you just type in, hey, AI, write me a LinkedIn post about how important AI is, and you get something super basic that everyone's seen 100 times.
Precisely. The new reality, as this source frames it, is that it's rarely the tool that sucks. It's usually how you're using it. Precision prompting is presented as the critical new literacy, the art and science of asking the right questions in the right way to truly unlock the AI's potential. It's, the new frontier of effective communication just shifted towards interacting with these models.
Okay, so let's get concrete. What does bad prompting look like compared to professional prompting, according to the source? Give us that contrast using their examples.
Okay, so the source uses that exact example you mentioned for bad prompting. Just write a LinkedIn post about AI. 0 context, 0 specific goals. Now, professional prompting, the kind the source links to those high hourly rates, is vastly different. It's detailed, specific, and structured. The source gives an example prompt that looks something like this. Act as a senior technology strategist with 15 years of experience writing for an audience of CTOs at mid-sized technology companies. Quote, generate 5 distinct, actionable LinkedIn post ideas focused specifically on demonstrating how predictive AI models can lead to significant cost reductions in cloud infrastructure.
Hmm.
Each idea should include a clear call to action. The tone should be expert, authoritative, and concise. Absolutely no corporate jargon or fluff.
Wow. Okay, that's not even in the same universe as the first one. You're giving the AI a specific identity. You're telling it exactly who you're talking to, what the goal of the content is, the precise topic, the desired tone, even the format and quantity. It's like giving it a full creative brief instead of a vague suggestion.
Exactly. You're essentially setting up the constraints and context for it to perform optimally. And the source highlights a few secret weapons that these precision prompters use. The most crucial, it says, is granting the AI a persona. You explicitly tell it who to pretend to be. Like, act as a veteran journalist who has won multiple awards for investigative tech reporting over a 20-year career. Or assume the role of a skeptical but open-minded venture capitalist. Giving it that specific role dramatically shapes the kind of output you get.
That totally makes sense. You're not just talking to a generic language model. You're like hiring a specialized on-demand assistant if you tell it precisely what kind of assistant to be. What about this threat method it mentions? That sounds a little aggressive.
Yeah, the name's a bit dramatic, right? But the source claims it's surprisingly effective, and even references confirmation from figures like Google's Sergey Brin suggesting that challenging AI can lead to better performance. The concept is this. If the AI gives you a weak first draft or an uninspired response, you push back directly. The source provides a prompt example like, this initial draft is weak and fails to meet the required depth. My company's Q3 sales figures literally depend on the quality and insightfulness of this report. Quote, I need you to perform at a much higher level and deliver truly exceptional analysis. Try again, incorporating mention-specific feedback.
Okay, so you're basically telling the AI that the stakes are high and its initial output isn't cutting it, which is weirdly compelling. It's like giving it a performance review right there.
It is. It's counterintuitive, but the source presents it as a confirmed technique used by power users. And the third secret weapon mentioned is mastering conversational chaining. The source stresses that you almost never get the perfect output with a single prompt. Professional users work in a 3-4-step back-and-forth process, refining, critiquing, and building on the AI's previous responses.
Right, it's more like a strategic dialogue or a collaboration, not just firing off commands.
Yeah.
And the source mentions some specific tools that are particularly well suited for this kind of high-level prompting.
Yes, it lists execution.Io as being specifically strong for optimizing LinkedIn content, Claude 4 Opus for handling large context windows and complex instructions where reasoning is key. Poppy AI for adapting tone and style for different social platforms, and Perplexity AI for research tasks where citing and understanding sources is important.
Got it. So armed with these techniques, personas, challenging the AI, conversational chaining, and using the right tools, what does the source say is the potential earning upside for someone mastering this?
As mentioned, freelance rates are cited as commonly falling in the $80 to $200 plus per hour range for high-scale precision prompting.
That's really serious money for what is fundamentally a communication skill enhanced by a tool. And the value proposition for clients must be massive.
Totally. The source frames it this way. A traditional copywriter or content creator might spend a full day crafting maybe 1 or 2 really high-quality strategic pieces of content. A skilled precision prompter using these techniques could generate maybe 4 or 5 equally or more strategic pieces in an hour, simply because they can leverage the AI's speed effectively. It's about achieving massive efficiency gains and higher quality output faster.
Okay, so that's skill #1, focusing on unlocking the AI's power through better communication. What about skill #2, too? This one sounds very forward-looking. AI trend spotting.
Yeah, this is where AI moves you from being reactive to potentially being predictive. The old way in business was, waiting for a trend to hit mainstream headlines or seeing your competitors adopt something before you reacted. By then, you're already playing catch-up.
Right, too late.
The new reality, powered by AI, is using its ability to process vast amounts of real-time data to analyze weak signals and predict what's coming next, positioning yourself or your clients ahead of the curve.
Okay, so how do top strategists actually do this with AI, according to the source? It sounds complex.
The source breaks down a method used by leading strategists into 3 core steps. Step 1, you curate a diverse set of data streams. This means subscribing to maybe 30 to 50 influential industry newsletters, key blogs, research reports, analyst briefings, basically, sources of early information relevant to a specific niche.
So you're gathering all the raw intelligence.
Exactly. Step 2. You create an AI analysis hub. This means taking all that curated weekly content and uploading it into a large context window AI model, like ChatGPT 4o or Claude 4, models capable of digesting and understanding massive amounts of text at once.
Okay, so you're basically feeding the AI a huge weekly dump of the latest cutting-edge industry information that you've specifically selected.
Precisely, you're giving it the raw ingredients. And step 3 is asking high-level strategic questions using a powerful, structured summary prompt. The source provides a really detailed example prompt for this, which is key to getting actionable insights, not just summaries. It asks the AI to analyze all of this attached industry data from the past week and identify
Okay.
what are the emerging weak signals or nascent trends mentioned. Based on these signals, what specific strategic actions should a company in this sector consider taking now? What significant market opportunities or shifts seem to be currently overlooked by competitors? Which of these emerging trends have the highest potential for monetization or disruption in the near term? Provide supporting points from the text.
Wow, that's not just asking for a summary. It's asking the AI to connect disparate pieces of information, identify subtle patterns, and then translate those into concrete business recommendations. That's a much deeper level of analysis.
It is. It's using the AI for synthesis and strategic thinking based on the data you provide. And the source lists other tools useful for gathering some of this real-time data, things like TikTok Creator Fund analytics for cultural trends, Amazon product research tools for e-commerce shifts, Google Trends for search behavior, and professional social listening tools like BrandWatch to monitor conversations and sentiment early on.
So you combine these real-time data sources, feed them into a powerful AI with these sophisticated questions, and what you get out is strategic insights. What kind of market value do reports like that command?
The source gives a breakdown of typical market rates for these types of AI-assisted analyses. Quick trend reports or summaries might go for $50 to $150. More in-depth weekly briefings summarizing signals for a client could be $300 to $500 per report. And highly exclusive strategic insight reports, perhaps delivered quarterly or focusing on major shifts, could command $1,000 to $2,500 or even more, depending on the client and the depth.
Okay, now we're definitely talking about significant value being created. And the source has a pro tip for making the real money here.
Yes, the pro tip is that the real money isn't just in spotting the trend, it's in the presentation and, crucially, the actionability of the insights. You need to turn that raw AI output into a professional, easy-to-understand report that clearly explains the so what for the client. Tools like Gamma are mentioned as being excellent for quickly turning outlines into visually appealing presentations that make the insights clear and actionable.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
An insight is only valuable if you can communicate it effectively and tell people exactly what steps they should take based on it. It's the difference between raw data and strategic advice.
Precisely.
All right, let's move on to skill #3, AI content strategy. This one mentions the Gary Vee method, but for, quote, mortals. That sounds appealing.
Oh yeah, this is all about content atomization, a concept popularized by Gary Vaynerchuk. The old way for most businesses or content creators was, spending hours or days creating one piece of core content, maybe a blog post or YouTube video, and then exhausting yourself trying to adapt it manually for every single platform.
All right, trying to stretch one piece across everything was a ton of work.
Exactly. The new way, leveraging AI, takes that core piece and uses AI to quickly and effectively adapt it into dozens, even hundreds of unique platform-specific pieces across your entire content ecosystem.
Okay, so how exactly does AI power this Gary Vee method for those of us who aren't media moguls?
The source outlines a clear AI-powered method. Step 1. You create your core content. This could be a longer format podcast, a webinar recording, a deep dive blog post, a YouTube video, whatever your main content engine is. Step 2. You extract key insights from that core piece. You can transcribe the audio video and then ask an AI to pull out, say, the top 10 quotes, the most interesting data points mentioned, the key actionable tips, or compelling stories.
So you're using AI to basically create a summary and pull out the best bits from your main content.
Yep, you're identifying the valuable raw material within the core piece. Step 3 is where the magic happens. You use AI to adapt that extracted material for each specific platform and audience. The source provides examples of prompts tailored for this.
Okay, like what? Give us a few examples from the source.
Sure. For LinkedIn, a prompt might be, take these key insights, list them, and turn them into a professional, executive-focused LinkedIn post. Focus on the business metrics and strategic implications we discussed. For Instagram, it might be, transform this story or quote into a visually compelling Instagram carousel post script. Focus on the personal journey or emotional hook and suggest visual ideas. For TikTok, create a script for a fast-paced 30-second TikTok video based on this one actionable tip. State the tip. Make sure it's engaging from the first second. And for an email newsletter, write a deeper dive on this specific topic and mention extracted point for our email subscribers, assuming they already have some background knowledge.
Okay, I see. You're telling the AI, here's the content, now make it fit this channel for these people. It's like having a whole team of specialized social media managers. What's the AI content stack they recommend for this?
The source lists tools like Gamma or Tome for quickly creating visual presentations from the content outlines, Poppy AI for really fine-tuning the adaptation for specific social platform nuances, EasyGen.io for optimizing those LinkedIn posts, and then just using custom prompts within Claude or ChatGPT to ensure the output consistently matches the brand voice.
And what about the business model and earning potential for someone who masters this AI-powered content strategy?
The source suggests you could offer services as an AI content consultant, helping businesses implement these atomization workflows, potentially earning $100 to $250 per hour. Or as a freelancer starting out, you could offer specific adaptation services at perhaps $25 to $50 per hour as you build your expertise and portfolio.
That's a wide range, but the potential seems significant, especially when you think about the value delivered.
Absolutely. The value proposition, as the source really highlights, is huge for small to medium businesses. This process enables them to achieve an enterprise-level volume and consistency of content output that used to require a massive team and budget, but now can be done by a much smaller team or even an individual leveraging AI.
That democratizes content creation at scale, for sure. Okay, let's move on to skill #4, AI localization. The source calls this a global expansion goldmine. That sounds intriguing.
It really taps into a massive underserved market. The old way of localization was, well, often pretty bad. Clumsy machine translation that missed cultural nuances, awkward phrasing, visuals that didn't land in different markets. It could actually harm a brand more than help.
Yeah, you see those cringy translation fails sometimes.
Totally. The new reality using advanced AI is deep localization. It goes way beyond just translating text. It's about using AI to adapt cultural context, visual styles, local trends, even syncing mouth movements in videos with the dubbed audio to make content feel truly native to a specific region or country.
Okay, so it's about making it feel like it was created for that specific market, not just translated into their language. Why is the opportunity so big here?
The source hammers this point. 92% of global consumers report they will drop a brand after just one or two negative or culturally insensitive experiences. Poor localization is a primary culprit for why many brands' global expansion efforts fail or underperform. Getting it right is critical for building trust and connection in international markets.
Okay, so there's a huge need for this. The source shares some fascinating, real success stories where people are already capitalizing on this.
Yes, some great examples. One YouTuber was dubbing influential interviews, like a Reid Hoffman interview, from English into Russian using AI tools. That single localized video got over 200,000 views and allowed her to sell premium ad inventory in a brand new market she couldn't have reached before. Affiliate marketers like Charlie Chang are translating their successful video content into languages like German and Spanish and are reportedly making more revenue from those localized versions than from the originals.
Wow, that's not just adding incremental revenue. That's a core growth strategy. And even big players like Netflix Asia are using this.
Yes, the source mentions Netflix Asia significantly cut their promotional costs. Instead of manually creating dozens of trailers for different shows for various Asian markets, they used AI tools to generate and adapt them. The AI helped tune the style, pacing, and messaging to match local cultural and stylistic preferences far more efficiently.
That's a game changer for international marketing. So if someone wanted to get into this, what kind of service offerings could they provide, and what's the earning potential the source mentions?
The source lists several specific services. You could offer website localization audits, $200 $500 to identify cultural or linguistic issues. Video content adaptation, $100 $300 per video, which includes dubbing, lip syncing, and adding local graphics. Cultural compliance reviews, $500,000, ensuring marketing campaigns or product names won't cause offense. Or offer comprehensive full market entry strategy packages, $2,000, $5,000 plus, that leverage AI for localized research, content, and cultural adaptation plans.
That really shows the range, from specific tactical tasks to high-level strategic consulting, all powered by AI's ability to understand and adapt context.
Absolutely. It's about leveraging AI to bridge cultural divides at scale and speed.
All right, skill hashtag 5. AI personalization. The source links this to a KFC revenue boost method. Tell us about that.
This skill is about moving away from generic, one-size-fits-all communication with customers or audiences. The new reality is using AI's ability to analyze vast amounts of customer data to deliver hyper-personalized experiences at scale. This is what builds loyalty and significantly increases the value of each customer over time.
So it's not just sending out mass emails anymore.
Definitely not. It's about understanding individual behavior and preferences at a deep level and using that to tailor every interaction. The KFC example from the source is fantastic and easy to grasp. They used AI to analyze customer purchase data. The AI noticed that a customer named Michael in Texas consistently ordered spicy wings every Friday afternoon. What did they do?
Let me guess. They sent him a personalized offer for spicy wings on Friday afternoon.
Exactly. And the source says this seemingly simple personalization led to massive increases in reordering and built incredible loyalty with customers like Michael. It shows that at scale, tiny, relevant nudges can have huge revenue impacts.
That's a really relatable example of how it works. And Blue Bottle Coffee used this too.
Yes. Blue Bottle Coffee, the specialty coffee retailer, used AI to track customer purchase cycles for their coffee beans. The AI could predict, based on past buying behavior, when a customer was likely about to run out of beans. It would then trigger a reminder email just before that predicted date. The source reports this simple personalized reorder reminder boosted their repeat purchase rate by an incredible 37%.
37%, wow. Just by reminding people when they likely need to buy again. That's a massive lift for something that seems so basic. But it's the timing and the personalization that AI enables at scale.
Precisely. It's about being relevant and helpful to the customer exactly when they need it, based on AI analysis of their past behavior. How does this AI personalization system work generally, according to the source? It's laid out in 4 steps. Step 1, connect your data. This means linking up your analytics, your CRM, customer relationship management system, your e-commerce platform, anywhere you have customer data. Step 2, let the AI analyze that behavior data. This could be purchase history, browsing activity, time spent on pages, email opens, click-throughs, etc.
Okay, so feeding the AI everything you know about what customers do.
Yep. Step 3, use powerful AI models like ChatGPT or Claude, often integrated into marketing platforms, to craft personalized messages. These aren't static templates. They can dynamically generate offers, recommendations, or copy based on the AI's analysis of the individual. Step 4, automate the system. You set up marketing automation triggers so the personalized messages or actions happen automatically based on AI-identified behaviors or predicted events.
And the source mentions you don't necessarily need a super complex, expensive system to start doing this, right? They highlight the power of Gemini combined with something as simple as Google Sheets.
Yeah, that's a great point the source makes, that profound insights don't always require enterprise-level software. Many teams can get huge value by simply exporting customer feedback, survey responses, or product reviews into a Google Sheet. Then you can use Gemini's built-in AI capabilities within the sheet to analyze thousands of rows instantly.
Oh, that's really accessible. Like you could upload all your customer support tickets and ask Gemini, what are the top 5 most common complaints expressed in these tickets? Or identify specific features that satisfied customers consistently mention they love. Or even, based on this feedback, what are the top 3 product improvements we should prioritize? Or suggest ways we can create better targeted offers for different customer segments based on their survey responses.
Exactly. It turns what used to be days or weeks of tedious manual review into actionable insights delivered in minutes. It's using AI to find patterns in qualitative data at scale.
And there's massive market demand for people who can set this up.
The source is clear. Every business with a customer database, from small e-commerce shops to large enterprises, desperately needs specialists who can understand customer behavior. Set up these data connections, configure the AI analysis, create dynamic, personalized campaigns, and build these predictive models. It's a high-value service because it's tied directly to increasing revenue and customer lifetime value, the bottom line.
Makes total sense. Helping businesses understand and sell more to their existing customers is incredibly valuable. All right, skill hashtag 6. Advanced AI content creation. The source calls this the Hollywood in your bedroom skill. That sounds pretty futuristic.
It does, but the source says it's happening now. The old way was basic text generation or maybe simple AI image generation. The new reality is using cutting-edge generative models, and the source specifically mentions Google's VEO3 as an example, to create really sophisticated, almost cinematic content, complete with consistent characters, dialogue, specific styles, often from just a laptop.
Okay, so the basic stuff like generating a single image or a paragraph of text is becoming easier and more common. What's actually hard and therefore valuable in this space?
That's the key distinction the source makes. Basic, one-off generation is rapidly becoming commoditized. The value and the skill are in the more complex, strategic aspects that AI enables, but requires human direction and expertise. The source highlights several areas. First, consistent characters. Techniques for ensuring a character looks identical across multiple video clips or images in a series, crucial for branding, but technically tricky.
Right.
Second, strategic brand storytelling. Using AI to not just generate content, but create cohesive campaigns with narrative arcs that align with a brand's message and goals. And third, mastering advanced AI techniques. Going beyond default settings to utilize complex features like object transformation, seamless scene blending, precise lip-sync dialogue, or specific stylistic controls.
But it's not just trust and generate. It's about directing the AI to execute a complex creative vision consistently.
Exactly, and the source strongly emphasizes the need for systematizing knowledge here. The people who are truly valuable aren't just, playing around with the latest tools. They are experimenting, learning what works, and then creating internal manuals or standard operating procedures, SOPs, for how to achieve specific, repeatable results using these advanced tools effectively and consistently. Professional, high-quality output needs systems and documented techniques, not just random prompting.
That's a great point. It's building a reproducible process for generating sophisticated content. What are some examples, service specializations, and the earning potential for someone who develops this kind of advanced skill?
The source lists several niches. You could specialize in TikTok ads in 24 hours, maybe $50 or $150 plus per ad, leveraging AI speed. Offer a consistent brand character package, perhaps $200, $500 plus per video series. Become an advanced AI effects specialist, maybe $100, $300 plus per video for a complex, challenging shot. Or offer complete AI-generated campaign creation, potentially $1,000, $5,000 plus per campaign, creating a whole suite of visual assets for a client.
The potential seems directly tied to the complexity and value of the visual output you can deliver. And what's the client reality driving this?
The source states it's simple. Clients care about results and cost effectiveness. If you can deliver visuals that look near Hollywood quality, something that traditionally would have cost $50,000 plus in production, but you can achieve it for, say, $500 using your advanced AI skills and systems, you win the client. You're drastically lowering the barrier to high-quality visual content.
Yeah, that totally bypasses the traditional budget and logistical hurdles of high-end video or image production. That's a huge value proposition.
It really is.
All right, that brings us to the final skill listed, #7. The source calls this critical thinking and the entrepreneurial mindset, and is presented as arguably the single most important one.
Yes, this is framed as the foundational skill that underpins success with all the others, the one thing that AI likely cannot replicate, at least not in the way humans possess it. It's described as what seasoned entrepreneurs teach their own children because they know it's the skill that will outlast any specific technology or trend.
Okay, so what are the two critical components of this mindset, according to this post?
First, there's what the source calls the AI reality check, which is essentially disciplined skepticism. AI models right now, they hallucinate, they make things up convincingly. You absolutely need the habit of double-checking everything the AI gives you, verifying facts, cross-referencing information. You need to understand the AI's limitations just as well as its strengths. Never blindly accept AI output as definitive truth.
So basically, don't let AI turn off your brain. Use it as a tool, but verify its work.
Precisely. It's about maintaining your own cognitive authority. The second component is opportunity recognition and rapid execution, the core of the entrepreneurial drive. This means actively looking for problems in the world or within businesses that can be solved or significantly improved using AI tools. And then having the ability and the mindset to build and deploy solutions to those problems quickly in hours or days, not waiting months or years.
Using AI not just as a tool for a task, but as like a superpower to build entirely new things as a solo operator or a small team.
Right. It radically compresses the time and cost required to launch something. And the source lists tools that enable this rapid execution. Lovable for building simple no-code AI applications, Replit for AI-assisted coding and quickly deploying applications online, and Gamma for rapidly creating presentations, simple websites, or structured documents to communicate your idea or solution.
This definitely ties into that 24-hour MVP mindset I've heard about. A minimum viable product built incredibly fast.
Totally. The process is identify a specific problem, quickly build the simplest possible solution, an MVP, using these fast AI tools. Deploy it to get real-world feedback from users or potential clients as fast as possible, and then iterate and improve based on that actual data, not just theory.
And the source argues that right now, 2025 is a particularly special opportunity window for this kind of entrepreneurial approach.
Yes, it makes a strong case for that. The tools are democratized. AI puts immense power in the hands of individuals, meaning anyone can effectively be an entrepreneur with very low startup costs. The idea to deployment time is dramatically compressed compared to any previous technological era. And critically, the market is still figuring out how to use AI effectively, which creates a massive opportunity for early movers who can identify problems and quickly deliver valuable AI-powered solutions.
So the ultimate lesson from seasoned entrepreneurs, highlighted by this source, isn't about mastering one specific AI model, but mastering how to think, how to spot valuable ideas, how to bring them to life incredibly quickly using the tools available, how to test and iterate fast based on what the market tells you, and always focusing on delivering real value for an audience or a client.
That's it. That mindset, that critical thinking, that bias towards rapid, value-focused action, that's the lasting skill that outlasts any specific technology wave.
Okay, that's the breakdown of the 7 skills this post identifies as high-value areas to focus on right now. And the source doesn't just leave you with the concepts, it actually suggests a potential path forward, right? It mentions a 30-day action plan.
Briefly, yes. It outlines a very structured approach to moving from just learning about these skills to actively developing and potentially monetizing one in just 30 days. It breaks it down week by week. Week 1 focused on foundation and choosing your skill. Week 2 on deep specialization and building a first small deliverable. Week 3 on market testing that skill or deliverable and refining your value proposition. And week 4 on thinking about how to scale or systematize what you've learned.
So there's like a concrete roadmap laid out if you want to take action.
Yeah.
But then the source hits you with a pretty blunt reality check.
Yeah, it's quite direct, almost brutal, but honest. The truth is, the source says, most people who read something like this, who feel that initial spark of inspiration or urgency, will unfortunately do nothing. They'll wait for the perfect moment or the next course, or feel they need to understand everything before starting.
And while they're waiting, the people who are just deciding to take decisive, imperfect action today are already out there getting clients, building experience, and earning income.
Exactly. That's the core contrast. The principle the source pushes for 2025 is this. We honestly don't know exactly what 2026 holds in terms of AI development, but we can choose to start building something valuable, learning actively, staying adaptable, and being positive about the immense opportunities available now.
Which brings us to the final crucial point, your next move challenge that the source puts out there.
The AI revolution isn't coming. It's here, and it's accelerating. The choice presented is pretty stark. Are you going to choose to drive the change or be driven by it?
And the challenge to you, the listener, is incredibly clear and specific. Pick one skill from this list.
Just one. The source insists you don't try to tackle all 7 at once. Look at precision prompting, trend spotting, content strategy, localization, personalization, advanced content creation, or maybe focusing purely on refining that critical thinking and entrepreneurial mindset. Which one resonates most with you? Which one feels like the right place to start? Commit to focusing on mastering that one skill over the next 30 days. Don't wait for permission. Don't overthink it.
Just start.
That's the ultimate takeaway from this source. The biggest differentiator between those who will thrive and those who might struggle is simply taking that first step. Just start.
So yeah, think about that. Out of those 7 skills we just unpacked from this source, precision prompting, trend spotting, AI content strategy, localization, AI personalization, advanced AI content creation, or the underlying critical thinking and entrepreneurial mindset, which skill will you pick to focus on first?
The companies and individuals who are leaning into this, mastering these new capabilities right now, are positioning themselves to really dominate their niches for years to come. The opportunity presented by this shift is immense, but the window for being an early adopter, for getting ahead while things are still being figured out, is, by its very nature, finite.
Yeah, it really makes you think about where the leverage points are in this changing landscape. What does all of this mean for your future plans? You know, which one of these skills could you realistically start exploring, practicing, or developing just today?